so let's get this on.
There are people recording us, so we're gonna at least try to act professional.
My nose.
It's a big nose.
Yeah, thank you.
I can make a joke on my voice. No, it's not safe for this room. No. No, I will tell him later.
I am how my maker made me.
God.
Perfect.
You call this perfect?
God must have been drunk when he made you. Anyway. Oh, that's inappropriate. All right, so in all seriousness, welcome to Fursuiting 101. I'm Silox. This is
Alex. Hi. He doesn't even know my name. How rude.
Hello. I know you're No, welcome to Public Fursuiting 101. I've done this panel once before. Prior to that, it's mostly been public fursuiting. 101, mostly talk about how to publicly fursuit, so I figured, well, why not expand that into all things fursuit? So we're going to go over commissioning a fursuit, making the DTD, fursuit maintenance, health and safety, public fursuiting, my personal favorite, performance, and any other questions or comments that you may have. So, just for record, this panel is going until 6:50 because the powers that be want us to wrap it up at 6:50, so there's a 10-minute grace period before 7. Don't ask why, I don't make the rules, I just follow them. So, feel free to chime in, ask questions. I will pick on people, I like picking on people. I used to be a teacher. Unfortunately, they hired a furry to be a teacher. It is what it is. Welcome to America. So, if I get into teacher mode, I apologize. But, yeah, have fun. Do you have anything?
I really hate this. It's just always in the way. So.
Yeah, take the
Yes,
head off.
all the time.
Take the head off. Oh, he's going to do it. He's going to do it.
Big reveal.
Do it. Oh, jeez, I like this.
Don't break the magic. Rule number 1.
What? So you mean to tell me if I'm dying, I have to keep the head off?
Yeah.
Man, when I meet Satan, that's going to be an awkward conversation. Oh, okay, that's good for you. So we'll start out. I've been fursuiting since 2016. I got my first fursuit about 2 months before I went to my first con, Furthermore. Who's gone to Furthermore before? I'm not going to make a joke, no. Okay, so that was my first con. I got this one in 2019 before the pandemic happened. And then I have another one that I got in October of last year. Oh, yes, you of course know. Yes, you know my life, clearly, yes. So I've been fursuiting for a while. I've seen it all. I'm not sure if I've done it all, but I know enough to where I can, don't look at me like that, to where I can confidently do this panel without stumbling and bumbling and looking like an idiot. So, first off, who here owns a fursuit? All right. Yeah, some people can borrow people's fursuits.
That's fair.
That's fair. All right. Who here wants a fursuit? Okay, I see some of you already have a fursuit and you want a fursuit. All right. Let's try a different goal, okay? Something more realistic. Don't start with me. But the process to getting a fursuit starts with what? Finding a maker to commission it. Most people in here, let's be honest, are going to find a maker to commission it unless you are savvy with your fingers and know how to sew and all that. I don't know how to do that. I was not good in home ec. I did not pay attention to home ec. Sewing was confusing for me. So I got a D in that class. It is what it is. You good?
Yeah, I'm teaching how to sew.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Easy.
it's not easy.
You'd be shocked at how many times I pop a seam. This is a brand new suit. I actually got this back in February, and it's been great. It's hot, but you know it's awesome. One of the things that you'll first find out when you get your suit is it's not as cool as you think. Quite literally, and I mean the temperature. It's unbearable in some places. Today is not a good day.
No,
Tomorrow
it's
is
not.
going to be worse. 87 degrees and humid.
Oh no, that's worse.
I will be dead. So,
See, you're bringing flashbacks to my Louisiana summer growing up. God damn. 99 degrees? Humidity of 77 degrees? Oh my God. I
and
hate
get a
it.
little wet in the body.
And then the fire ants would bite me because I messed with their ant. I was a dumb kid. I would put my finger in the anthill and it's roll. Yeah, I was a dumb kid. But so most people here are gonna get a maker. I'm gonna stand up. Most people here are gonna get a maker to make their fursuit, and there's a lot of makers out there. There's my personal favorite. They've made 2 of my suits, Twinkie Arts. Shout out to the Twinkie Arts crew right here. I see 2 of you. There's Made for You, More for Less, Latin Vixen is what does she go by? Mixed Candy. We don't count the Cactus Person because they're awful. Who else?
Firestorm 6.
Yeah. Well, no, they also.
He's a classic. He's an OG. He's been doing it for,
Well, no, they also did bad stuff.
well, whatever. Everyone does. They've been doing it for like 10, like 50 years.
Lemon Brat, Autumn Fallings, Buy Cats, For Cats. There's a lot of makers out there. And so the first thing is you need to properly do your research. Do you want a 2D suit, something like this, something semi-realistic, or something realistic? I can tell you that that's very important because you don't want to get a suit and you don't like it because it's not what you want. No one wants that feeling. You want to be able to say, this is my suit, I love it, it loves me, I know, kind of weird, it loves me, and I enjoy wearing it. So you want to do your research, you want to compare price points. I get it, some of you may have a preferred maker in mind. You may say, gosh, I really love mixed candy. Well, be prepared to plop down $10,000 as a base price. That's where they start. It is what it is. That's how the market is right now for fursuits. They're very in demand. I can hear that. Thank you. It's a very recession-proof industry. I'm not saying you should be a fursuit maker, but if you want to make money, make fursuits. It's recession-proof. So don't look at me like that. So compare prices. Be aware that you may not get what you want. I would also say be prepared to compromise because sometimes you may want adjustable eyebrows. Well, most makers can do that. Or magnetic eyelids, or you want follow-me eyes, or wings, or something like that. That's going to be extra. Most makers will charge extra for that. So you have to be able to compromise and say, well, do I want this now or down the road?
What about how I got my fursuit?
Do you have any input, or are you just going to
Honestly, so it's very normal. When you finally get your suit, you'll fall in love with it. There's like a grace period of like, you know, the puppy love phase. Oh my God, it's alive, it's mine, it's here, yes. Oh great, this is amazing. And then you start finding these little things wrong.
We're not at that point where I'm commissioning a fursuit.
But still, I'm touching on what you said. Commissioning a fursuit is you have to find someone that you really, really trust. And it's hard in this market because there's a lot of mixed signals from the community about certain makers. You have to kind of, figure that out for yourself. They have testimonials. You can trust those. They also have galleries that you can see, examples of their art. And especially if you have a Sona that is a little different from, the run-of-the-mill.
That guy, right there. Him. Show me your tiger. This one. Different from run-of-the-mill. Look at all those stripes he has on. I guarantee you, any fursuit maker is going to charge extra for that.
It didn't take a whole lot of skill to do all black with a triangle. That's it.
I'm just basic.
Easy.
I copied the Pittsburgh Steelers colors. Shout out to the Pittsburgh Steelers fan right there. Whoop, whoop. I don't know about that, they suck, but that's a different, don't even start with me.
You're wearing the colors.
I'm not a Steelers fan. I'm a Saints fan, much better.
Camel
too.
over.
Shut I almost cussed. Shut up. But yeah, you definitely want to do your research. It's important to do your due diligence because you don't want to end up in a situation where you are not happy with what you got. Also, I recommend this. Wear someone's fursuit to see if it's something that you want. Because I guarantee you, if it's not something you want, don't go through with buying a $5,000 fursuit. And then come to realize, I don't like fursuiting. Well, now you have this $5,000 fursuit that's just sitting there, and what are you going to do with it? So,
It would
definitely,
look like a nice decoration in your house.
Oh my
Just kind of
God.
hang it up.
well, you can also sell it.
You put that head up on like the wall, like mount it, you know? You're like, yeah, I got that on the safari one.
You can also sell it. I would upcharge it, but that's just me. I'm greedy.
You would think.
Shut up. Don't tell them where I work for. They don't need to know all that.
Anyway,
But, so yeah, do your due diligence. Now, some of you may be savvy and may want to build your own fursuit. I don't have expertise in that area. I will say some people who do have told me that it can be a very complicated procedure. I have a friend who built his own fursuit. It has LEDs in it. He has his own fan in it. It has his own server in it too. I'm not even joking. It does.
what? A
Yes.
server?
Doesn't have a server in it?
For what?
No. Just a fox. Just a
A
fox.
server.
It-
Get a servant was on our website for,
But it's in the first week.
references,
Yes.
explanation of his character, among other things.
yeah.
You're gonna have to show me that.
Yeah. Has anyone here built their own fursuit by chance? How easy was it? Did you enjoy doing it?
I enjoyed doing it. It wasn't easy.
Mad respect.
Yeah. See, like I said, I can't do that. I don't know how to sew, but yeah. Could you make your own fursuit?
Hell no.
That's a you problem.
See, so my fursuit was the result of me begging a very old friend of mine who has since left the fandom, reasons unknown. He said, I'd be remiss if I ever step foot back. And I said, oh really? Can you make me a fursuit? And after about 2 years of bugging him, he finally said yes. And here it is.
Yes, you imperfect mess. Look at you.
To do that though, he said once he was done with it, because this goes to the really, you have to like what you do, especially if you're a fursuit maker. He hated it. Every last minute, I was getting complaints on Telegram. I'm so done with this. Why did I agree to do this? I get it.
Put away the laser pointer.
Who's doing that?
Put it away.
I will confiscate that until the end of the year. Who's doing that? That too.
Don't be sus. Where's among us?
They left. So
Yeah.
come on, don't do that. But yeah, commissioning the fursuit is very important. Obviously, in that process, you're going to, most makers, with the exception of a few, I know a few have started doing auction style fursuits, where you bid on a fursuit to get commissioned. That's still rare. Most still do the whole, you send in your idea and they will choose it. So if they choose it, be prepared to put down a down payment. From most of what I've seen, it's what, 30%? When I look, you can obviously put down more than that or full pay if you have the money. I mean, heck, if you got that much money, you know, you could buy me something. I could use a new car. I'm just saying.
And for those of you concerned, there has been a lot of bad press I've seen, especially in fursuit making, where the maker will basically default on their commissions. They accept money and they put you on a wait list, and when your time comes to actually start building, nothing happens. That's happened with a couple of fursuit makers, I won't name them. So you have to make sure when you're in the selection process of finding a maker, it's obviously someone that you trust. But if you already have somebody that has made art for your Sona, if they do suits, maybe try using them, or maybe go through some of your friends. Your friends could have better suggestions on who to use. You don't always have to go for the big name brands. You can get some great looking suits from some very unknown and not very popular makers.
You really can.
Yeah, and I've seen some, I've only been fursuiting as my Sona for, a few months, but I've been fursuiting since 2008. And I've, over the years,
There
used
he
so much
is.
talent. So
The
it's-
LED fox. I was
that's
not
the
lying when I
right
said
there.
that. This individual has made his own fursuit.
I actually didn't turn the LEDs on this time. The wires are back to the hotel.
Is it true it has a server in it?
It used to, but I fried the Raspberry Pi, so it doesn't right now. I gotta get another Raspberry Pi Zero.
So has it been a difficult process to make your own fursuit?
It's frustrating.
Was it
but
fun?
It is fun.
And it's very rewarding, I guess.
Yeah, I've got, every year I come with new additions to sleeves.
Yes, can confirm. Every time I see him, he's putting something new on his fursuit. And I'm like, okay.
This time it's pockets and a fan in the back that has a tube.
That would be nice.
Yeah, nice and cool.
That would be nice.
So you'll put your 30% down, and then you're going to wait. It may take,
2 years.
okay, well, don't say that. It may take a month. This suit, the mounted suit, took about a month to make after I put the down payment down, and it came my turn. Some people take longer than that. Some people take 2 years, some longer than that. There is a fursuit maker who I will not name that has a long list of people who have not gotten their suits. And this list goes back 10 years. If you know, you know. So that may be a thing. You may also run into the issue of someone, as was said, not making your fursuit at all. Just scamming you out of money. It happens. Make sure you have receipts. Screenshot everything.
Oh, and one thing, if you do transactions over PayPal, make them send you an invoice to pay, because that kind of acts as their assurance that they've received money for goods that you haven't received yet. So that's one of the things. A lot of people will send off cash on Cash App or Venmo or whatever you use, and they'll send it as friends and family. This is a business transaction. Make them pay the fee. Make sure you get receipts. Because ultimately, it's still a product that you're going to be waiting on. And if they don't deliver, you can take that to court if need be. Hopefully it never comes to that, but unfortunately, it does for a lot of people. So make sure you protect yourself. Always get receipts. And if they make any statements of changes or anything with your fursuit design or this, that, and the other, make sure you get it in writing or at least an email. That way you can have a paper trail of everything that's changed over the course of your fursuit being designed and created.
I have a friend who got screwed over by his fursuit maker, and he did not have any screenshots whatsoever, any receipts. She just said, okay, I'm stopping making fursuits, cannot get his money back from his bank. So you don't want to be in that situation where you're out $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, because a fursuit maker screwed you over. It's not
I
fun
am
for
a
anyone.
homeowner. I could have used this $5,000 to renovate my bathroom. This was more important. So, I did what I did. I don't regret it somewhat, I do. But I mean, it's neither here nor there. It's fair.
Only you know what I just said.
What?
I'm not sure to say something else besides home. Hey, I'm happy for you if that's the case. Live your life. It's Pride Month, man. I'm gay and I'm proud. If you're on, I'm not going to say it, That's what you want. All right, so next comes the fun talk. The fun part. Making the duct tape dummy. Oh, God, I hate it making a duct tape dummy. Yes, do not make it yourself. You cannot make it yourself. I don't care how ambidextrous you are. I don't care how crafty you are. You can be MacGyver, if you know who that is, for God's sakes. You cannot make a duct tape dummy yourself. You will need at minimum 2 people to help you. At minimum. The more people there are, the faster it goes.
Make sure you bring a broom, or at least 2 of them.
Yes.
Your arms will thank you later. I learned that the hard way.
And do not have the AC on. When I was doing my duct tape dummy for this, I was standing like this, the AC was on. My foot went to sleep. When I tell you the worst feeling is having pins and needles and it's cold in the room, that is the worst feeling ever. And you can't move your leg, that is torture.
Oh, and for those of you that are claustrophobic, make sure you have windows open or something. Airflow is your #1 friend when you're doing a DTD. I had a friend of mine who was extremely anxious, claustrophobic, all sorts of stuff. We started doing his DTD about the time when you reached the upper chest and finished there. Dry heaving, and then you know what happens next. Don't need to go into details. Make sure that you keep the model very comfortable if you're assisting in doing a DTD. Comfort is like the utmost importance to their safety, and also to make sure that whenever you do get the DTD finished, it fits better than if you were to make it really, really tight. We all want a really nice form-fitting suit. Sometimes it just can't work out that way because if you do get one that's really too tight, you have to make those very minute adjustments later if it, God forbid you drop something, you can't pick it up because bending over is your worst enemy, like mine. So make sure that you are comfortable if you're the model, and if you're helping someone make their DTD, just make sure that they have at least some motion in their arms and something to rest on, because it's going to take a while, probably about an hour or so.
Mine took 2 hours.
That's
My first one took 2 hours.
They were slow.
So the worst part was getting cut out of it. Because I'm not the most intelligent person, I did not get medical shears. If you're going to do a duct tape dummy, you need medical shears. Don't be that guy who gets actual scissors and decides to cut yourself out of it. When I tell you, you will nick yourself, I'm not kidding. You will cut yourself. It is a painful experience.
We tried our best.
Yes. And it doesn't help, I have big thighs, so there's not much clearance down there with the duct tape, and you can guess what happens.
Make sure you have enough
It's
duct
right
tape.
into the skin.
Make sure you have enough duct tape when you start too. When I built this, I went through a roll of duct tape, got up to my chest, realized I didn't have enough, and had to stand around for an hour, really hot, waiting for the other person that was helping me to go to the store to buy more duct tape. That was not a pleasant experience.
Oh, and use the bathroom.
Sorry.
Yes. That is the other worst thing, is not using the bathroom.
What was the question?
What do you mean duct taping? We're very new to fursuiting.
So, for a full suit, 99.9% of makers are going to require a duct tape dummy for a full suit. It is very, very rare that they're not going to require one. So, you're going to duct tape yourself and put measurements on there. And they'll use that to make the body.
You have to make sure you wear a painter's suit first, or some old pajamas or something. Clothing that you don't care about necessarily.
Please wear underwear. Because when I say you'll get nicked, you will get nicked. Not saying it happened to me, but it happened to me.
Why? Does that mean that the painter is gonna be the
So, old clothes, paint your suit. Everybody's got a Lowe's or a Home Depot somewhere nearby. It's-
Across the street from one. What are you talking about?
That's too long. That's too long of a drive for me.
They cost maybe
I can't walk.
$5, $6, $10, depending on where. Very simple. I've never seen a real practical use for the ones with the hood. So if you go looking for one, just try to see if you can find one without the hood.
I mean,
And it makes it a lot easier to
yeah.
not, make a mess.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong. I think even if you give them with a hood, it's not the end of the world. It's not, it's not gonna hurt either.
Go ahead.
So the dummy, are you like sending this thing to,
Yes.
and they like, do they stand it up to where it's like a 3-dimensional thing that they build the suit around, or
Yes.
it's like a mannequin? You're making a mannequin.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. So it's a mannequin of your body, and that's how they make the bodysuit. Like I said, it is very, very rare that you'll get to find a maker who's like, that's okay, I'll make one without a duct-taped dummy. I wouldn't advise going with a maker who does that, but that's just me.
Yeah, oftentimes it gets cut up and then used as a pattern for the fur. So you put it down on top of the fur and then you kind of cut around that, and that's how it's made.
So, after the duct tape dummy is completed and you have packed it away and sent it to your maker, really the next steps are based on their
Do it
process.
again. You do it again.
So, the next steps are pretty easy. You just wait for your maker to go through their process. They'll either request additional items, adjustments, if they feel like maybe the DTD isn't up to par. When you're doing the duct tape dummy, one of the greatest things to keep in mind is when you're doing the layout of the duct tape across the body, make sure you use shorter pieces. They probably can be about maybe 5 to 10 inches in length at the most. Probably not really 10, but I usually do like 5 inches or so. And you do them in a cross pattern. If you do them all sideways and parallel with each other, they tend to pop off and they leave gaps in the bodysuit once it's shipped. So if you do a cross pattern, you do an X on each side as you lay tape down, it'll allow it to be a lot more stronger. That way it can withstand bending when you fold it or have to pack it away, or when the maker eventually hangs it up and fills it so they can make the body. Because a lot of makers, what they'll do is they'll puff it up with some like polyester, and sometimes they can actually pop the seam like that and it just makes it a whole mess. I know this from personal experience. I was a dummy and did that. So, make sure cross patterns. Go ahead.
For those of us who are trying to begin a fursuit and they just want to start with the head strictly first, is a duct tape dummy really made for if you're just going for the head first?
No. For the most part, most makers can actually use a mannequin head that's, generally sized to the average size head. If you have an abnormally sized head, just, make sure to mention that, and they might ask you for some circumference measurements. Because one of the situations I have is I have a decently sized head. I didn't give them measurements, and this is tight.
Yeah, I'm
So, it's a hassle for me, but it's cool. It looks good, right? Right? Yeah, good. Okay, cool.
Hi. What's up? What's up? Who's a good boy? Yes, you are.
You're making me really upset right now.
Good. Good.
So, go ahead.
So, about like the internal temperature of fursuits, fur beds, so. I know that some developers, particularly those who are really savvy with how they create them, can install like fans, maybe cooling pads, etc., etc. Is that something that like every suitor can reasonably do for you if you pay them? Is that something more specialized and not everyone's capable of doing?
So, from what I can tell, it depends on the maker. Some makers will install it in there for an extra fee. Some do it for free for you. It depends on the maker. At least with fans, I know that that's not a universal thing across makers. Few do that, and it's obviously an extra price. Some put a balaclava in the head as well. I think yours is with the balaclava in it, didn't it? One of
No,
our-
mine's just Eva foam that was cut into patterns and glued together. So everything's kind of, you know, mushed together in a nice little fashion. There's no inner lining. Some people actually agree that having no lining in the head is somewhat better than ones that do, because it's a lot easier to clean a balaclava rather than it is to just wash the head. So I went for the balaclava, which, you know, I can take off, I can put on a new one if it gets dirty or smelly or whatever. And usually, if you don't sweat a whole lot in the head like me, your head stays pretty clean, and the only thing you have to swap out is the balaclava. And then wipe it off a little bit with some disinfectant wipes, and then you're good to go. When you have a head that's lined, it gets a little tedious to clean it, but it still works effectively the same.
Yeah, that was one of the mistakes I made with this one, was I glued the balaclava inside here so I can't take it out. So it makes it a bit of a pain to clean. I keep having to stick like alcohol spray up there and stuff. And really wish I could take it out.
So that actually leads us into fursuit maintenance. So you have your fursuit, and you want to keep it looking nice. You don't want to be that one furry who has a matted suit, who doesn't wash it, and it goes from white to brown to some kind of weird grayish color over the years. It's
The current color of the sky right now.
ew.
Yes.
There are people like that out there who have suits that look like that, and it's because they're not washing their suit. I'll be honest, my first suit didn't take the best care of it because I wasn't too sure on how to wash it. With this one, and of course the newest one, which I am uber protective of and wash it as soon as I'm done with it. Doesn't matter how long I, suit around in it, it just gets washed. It's important to have a suit that's clean. And I say this because your head is an attractor of bacteria and germs. It is a moist place, it is dark, it is full of sweat, and if you don't clean it, it's going to attract bacteria. And you don't want that getting on your skin, you don't want that.
Yeah.
You're ill. So now comes the favorite part. How do you wash a bodysuit? There are multiple ways to wash a bodysuit. I put mine in the washer. Now, I know you've heard some people say, we shouldn't do that, it shouldn't go in the washing machine. Talk to your maker. Your maker knows what's best for the suit. They made it. Don't just make an assumption, ask. Usually when you get your suit, they'll give a guide that says an instruction on how to clean it. And they'll say if it's safe for washing in the machine or not. This suit is safe for washing in the machine. What I do is I put it on cold. It goes on gentle. And I use Woolite. I've been told you can also use regular detergent. Again, ask your maker because they may have something else. Obviously, yes?
What if your maker didn't communicate and you have no idea how to wash it?
Then there's a second option for that, which I'll get to, which is much more safer. So if you're washing by washing machine, cold, always cold water. Do not put it on hot water. Do not put it on hot water. Your suit will shrink in the washing machine. Cold water, gentle cycle, Woolite, regular detergent, run it. Then I put mine in the dryer. Again, you're told, don't put it in the dryer, it'll melt the suit. Most dryers in America these days have a no dry setting. They do. If yours doesn't, don't put it in the dryer. I put mine on no dry for 15 minutes, no heat for 15 minutes. Do
Might
not,
also be called hair fluff.
yes.
So,
Don't put it on heat. Please don't, because it'll melt the fibers in the fur, and your suit will look disgusting. So I take it out, hang it up, and then start brushing it as it dries, and then after a while, it's a nice clean suit. Take some dryer sheets, put them in the head as well, and it smells nice. And we'll talk about head cleaning afterwards. Now, the second alternative is washing in the tub. Have you washed in the tub?
In a tub, so that is one way you can do it. It's for some older suits or suits that are a little more sensitive. As you wear your suit, of course, you're going to become very familiar of what it can handle and what it can't. So my boyfriend's suit is a much older one. It's about 13 years old. So it's been through a lot, and some of the seams are not very well taken care of. But it's still in pretty good shape for its age. Your suit can get a lot of use and years of fun and just anything that you want to do with it if you take care of it properly. So many first-time suitors, they make a mistake of just, I'll clean it later, procrastinate, and then it turns into that shag rug that you just can't get rid of because nobody on Craigslist wants it. So it's important to make sure that you keep up with the maintenance of your suit. For me, putting it in the bathtub is not a great idea because this suit is a little fragile in some of the seams, like on the sides, they pop a lot. What happens to a fursuit when you soak it is, of course, it gets extremely heavy. So when you finally take it out of the water and it's time to dry it, and you pull it up, a lot of weight and pressure, tension is being pulled on those seams, and it could rip. So that's one of the things you got to be careful of when soaking it. There is a different way that a lot of people use different methods to wash it in the bathtub. I've seen YouTube videos. That's another tool you can use. A lot of YouTube videos exist. But only, I would suggest, if you're really, really comfortable with the build quality of your suit, you can soak it. And that would be one of the more deepest ways to clean the suit. It's almost guaranteed to make it brand new again.
Also, if you have a digitigrade suit and you're going to wash it in the machine, take the padding out, or in my case, take the polyfill out, because you don't want it to, it's more than likely not going to fit in the washing machine. So you got to be mindful for that.
And the same thing with that, use cold water, essentially to make sure that you're not causing any damage to the fibers. Most fursuits are made with a sort of synthetic fiber, acrylic. It depends on where you got the fur from, or the maker got the fur from. And of course, your maker is going to know this. So if you ask them the questions, what should I do to maintain it? What should I do to clean it, et cetera, they should have the answer to that. Somebody over here said if they lost communication, if the fursuit maker didn't really talk to you or relay that information, there is a slew of information that is readily available to you from other suit makers who've actually taken the time to give little guides of how to properly care for a suit that they didn't even make.
Like YouTube, Google, I'm serious, you can just Google how to clean a fursuit. You'll find a multitude of options.
And some fursuit makers actually offer professional cleaning services for fursuits. So you don't even have to be their customer, and they'll still wash your suit for you. So that's a thing. I didn't know about that until like a month ago, but that's cool.
Another question. A friend uses a small carpet cleaner, a portable carpet cleaner.
Is it a green
A
one?
little green, yeah.
It is a little green one.
Yes.
We tried to
Excellent.
buy it and we couldn't
Yeah.
find it, so.
Little green vacs are a godsend. I love a little green vac. I bum my roommates a little green vac all the time.
So get one, got it.
Yeah, it's well worth the money. They've shot up in price quite a bit. I remember when you could get them for like, $60 now. Mine was $140. It's a little ridiculous, but okay, cool. And it's actually one of the easiest ways that I think you can quickly take care of your suit. And it does a really, really good job. And for the most part, it's very gentle. It's a very gentle clean. And as long as you're using proper detergent in it, it won't damage your fursuit. So excellent choice. The little green is always like the golden standard for portable fursuit washing methods.
Especially for hands and paws. Like if you know your hands and paws cannot go in the washing machine, or if you don't want to put them in the tub. Some people do that.
And head especially.
Yeah.
Folex, along with the green machine, is proper because Folex is the best carpet cleaner.
Yes. For spot cleaning, Folex. Always use Folex.
You get that at Home Depot or Lowe's as well.
Mm-hmm. Also, washing the head. How did you mention head? Washing the head, excuse me. No.
Would you like to?
Yes, I would like that. Okay, don't put it on. All right, so when I'm washing my head, I will take a damp washcloth, wipe the inside down with that. Go around a couple of times. Then what I'll do, I'll get another washcloth and cover both eyes up because these eyes are painted on and you don't want to get it wet. Take some disinfectant, spray that. Don't go overboard, but just spray it. Then I take a mixture of water and alcohol. I do half and half. Half isopropyl alcohol or rubbing alcohol, half water. And you lightly go inside and clean around. You want to do this because you want your head to smell good and not be a walking tomb for bacteria, because again, bacteria is gross. You don't want that on your skin. So after that, let it air out. And then what I do, I take dryer sheets, any kind will do, just stick it in there all around, put some in the mouth as well, and then it smells good while it dries. Yes?
The isopropyl, do you have any idea about the percentage that you tend to use, like 50, 70, 90?
Most like anything that you get at like the grocery store, I think it's usually 80%, I think is what's on the shelf. That's sufficient enough.
Yeah.
You really don't want to use a whole lot of isopropyl. The smell alone is enough to really gag you. So if you use a lot, it's going to be very disinfectant, but it's going to reek like that for a while. So make sure you use just enough that it's going to clean well and disinfect, but
not that you're going to have to sit
don't
there
be too
forever.
crazy with it.
Right.
But 80% usually is what they carry at the store. You just go there and get some rubbing alcohol. That's all you need.
All right. Any more questions? Comments? Hi.
Hey there. My biggest issue when it comes to commissioning a decent person's head is where the place to walk in for 25 minutes is actually open. I see a lot of vendors, but I don't see anyone who are actually open to taking commission. The money's there, so find it. Someone actually open.
So that also comes with the case of doing your research. Most of these makers are going to open and announce their openings on Twitter. It is what it is. That's what people use to announce openings. So if you find a maker that you're interested in, you can, sometimes on their page, they'll have an opening of when they're going to be open. And they usually have a Twitter. You can set announcements on Twitter or whatever it is. What's it called? The thing? The bell thing? Notifications. I'm an idiot. Notifications. That's what some people do. Of course, the problem with that is if it's a year out and you put notifications on, you're getting all their tweets, and if they're a maker that likes to tweet about nonsense or other stuff, it's like, well, do I really want to see this for a year? I don't know. So you can do that. Other people just write the date down and set a reminder in the calendar. But largely, that's how it's going to be. You're going to have to do your research and figure out when they're open. Now, there is the off chance that you find a maker that is open year-round. There are some who are like that, especially the newer ones, and they will be willing, hopefully, to make you a fursuit head. But the more established makers, they usually open once a year and take commissions, and then they're closed until they're done with that cycle. Mine opens once a year, and she takes about a year to do her rotation. and it opens the following year. I think a lot of makers are like that. I could be wrong, but more established makers tend to be that way. So again, I would just say, do your research, figure out who you're interested in, see if they're open, if not, when their next opening is, and plan around that.
Given the cost of fursuits themselves, do you know if makers give payment plans or do they prefer to do all at once?
So most makers are going to do a payment plan. Most will do a payment plan. I cannot say all because not everybody is the same. And there may be one out there that does not do a payment plan. But most established makers offer a payment plan. To where it's like, I put 30% down and then I'm going to pay whatever each month until I pay it off. And at that point it's paid off, they begin work on your suit. Again, if you have the money to pay it off right then and there, good for you. You're living a high life. I'm proud of you. But most people, they tend to do the whole payment plan. So.
And so make sure it's an invoice.
Yes, make sure it's an invoice, and for God's sakes, make sure you can afford a suit. And I have to say this.
Yes.
There are a lot of people who want a fursuit now. You don't need a fursuit to enjoy the fandom. You really don't. But if you want a fursuit, make sure you can afford it.
Well, I don't know. I seem to enjoy it a lot more now.
You are not
Why?
helping.
It makes it better. Get a fursuit.
Oh my God.
It's a different experience when you get to wear your persona for the first time. You see
Yes.
it, it changes you. You actually do want to be a dumb dog, cat, whatever you're going to be, all day long.
What if I'm all three of those?
Whatever.
Another alternative too is just build it yourself. Most of the price of a fursuit is labor. This whole thing with electronics and everything was under $300, including tools that were pretty basic that I probably should have had. Like that also includes the price of a hot glue gun and a pair of scissors and sewing equipment and stuff like that. Like the materials itself are actually pretty cheap.
Yeah. Like if you, like I said, I know it's tempting nowadays because you see social media and everybody has a fursuit and you want to, do all that and hang with, popular suitor XYZ. If you can't afford a fursuit, don't buy a fursuit. You don't need it. If you know you need to pay rent to keep the lights on, if you know you need to have money to buy food, buy those important pills or whatever you got going on, do that. Don't waste $10,000 on a fursuit, which is hypocritical coming from me because I wasted $10,000 on a fursuit I probably didn't need, but that's a different discussion for a different
What
day.
did you learn?
Probably shouldn't have done that. Even though I could afford it, probably shouldn't have done that.
Life lessons.
Life lessons. Yes.
How should you store a fursuit? Because I've heard people say that you should just you have to leave the head in open air.
So I store mine on a hanger. I take the bodysuit, put it on a wide hanger, not one of those flimsy metal hangers or plastic hangers. Stick it on that, store it in a dark room temperature place. You don't want it in direct sunlight because over time that's going to cause the colors, if you have any, to fade. It's going to happen. Do not stick your fursuit in a damp place because that will allow mold to grow in the fursuit.
No direct sunlight either.
I recommend buying a storm case or a Pelican box to store your fursuit in because it comes with a port on it that allows for oxygen to go through the box. And it'll keep your fursuit at the right temperature that it needs to be and actually keep it in very good shape.
Yeah, and also make sure, like you said, no moist front mouse spaces. So I've seen a couple of people that I follow, they store it in the basement. That's not good. No, don't do that. Keep it inside. Keep it where the air conditioning is. Humidity. I mean, if I step outside right now, I will poop about twice the size. So it might look cute, but it actually damages the fibers.
Yes.
Have you seen older suits They look very clumpy, but they're not brushed right. It's from that. They get very moist. I hate that word. And
Moist.
that.
I'm so moist.
But so that's what happens. You want to make sure that it stays dry above all else, especially when you're storing it. Make sure it's dry before you store it as well. They actually have these wonderful little hangers that have a fan built in them.
The what do you call it? Diving gear fans?
I have no idea what it's called. Amazon. So they're wonderful little devices. Whoever thought them up, I want to give them a big hug. Because I use one, and within an hour or two, this guy is dry and ready for another round. Because you can get the high velocity ones, which you can get on Amazon. I forget the name of it. I had my phone on me. See, he's got pockets. It's a natural advantage. I don't have anything.
Not even a kangaroo.
Now, in some instances, I will say your maker may require you, well not require, but may recommend that you do stick your fursuit in a tote. In my case, in my new suit, because it has polyfill, what will happen is over time, if you hang it up, the suit will stretch over time because the weight on the thighs will drag it down. And she recommends putting that in a storage tote. So your maker may recommend that. Good God.
You had one job. Hey, how you doing?
So what are you talking about? This is a digigrade suit. For those who don't know what digigrade is, it means that you have legs, or like padding here.
Thick thighs. Mine is thicker than his.
Yeah, I'm trying to be professional.
No, you're not.
Padding here to give the illusion that you have animalistic legs. No breathability here. Legs hot, sweating all the time. But he's right. If you leave this padding in here while you hang your bodysuit, it will stretch the fabric and it will cause fraying eventually. So if you have inserts, remove them. Sanitize them, wash them. People forget. These do need to be washed. You can't have great legs like this if you don't clean them.
They're okay legs.
Where's my paw?
I don't know. And don't you go spilling the secret either.
Oh, I dropped my ring key. This is not what it looks like. What's up, Silo? Next.
I'm on my best behavior. I'm not saying what I want to say. So we're behind schedule thanks to this person right here. We're going to go to health and safety. Okay, so one of my rules that I have for public suiting is to always remove your head when a law enforcement officer approaches you. This ties into safety. Now, I get it. Some of you may not like cops, you know. What is it called? 12, 8, whatever. For your protection and safety, just remove your head. I always keep my ID on me because I'm paranoid like that. Except last night when I drove up here without my driver's license. I was doing 85 and 90 on the PA Turnpike. I didn't get caught. Don't go snitching now, all right? I'm not trying to lose my job. Oh, it's recording, so, you know, hi, Mom, you know, people can hear that. They'll take my rims again. Yeah, the Kia boys will take my rims again. Oh, man, I hated that day so much. That was not a fun day.
Not one, but all four. And then you flush your car.
Bro. Yeah. What? Yeah, it took all 4 rims off my car.
Damn.
It is what it is. Ripped my bank account though. God damn, $3,700 for rims. Can you believe that? $3,700 for rim. Actually, you know what? No, the total was $7,000. Actually, $7,000 for some Civic rims. Amazing. But
Hey, you know, you have a friend that works at AutoZone that can get you an employee discount. Why do you never reach out to me?
okay, well, this is the wrong forum to talk about that. Anyway, we're behind. Thanks, IBM. Health and safety. Yeah, always take your head off for law enforcement, regardless of how you feel about them. I keep my ID on me in here at all times. Well, today it's in my bag, but I keep it there just in case they ask for that. Another thing for safety, know your surroundings. I get it, it's tempting to go fursuiting in a lot of weird places and a lot of fun places. And I know it's all the rage now to go do these, you know, pranks or whatever in places that you shouldn't be. Don't go fursuiting in places that are sketchy. Know your surroundings. Because I guarantee you, someone will mess with you if you're in fursuit.
So, with that being said, being aware of your surroundings, obviously I have a terrible time with that. How many of you who are suiting now can attest that your vision is absolute dog doo?
Yes.
Important.
I'm pretty much blind in this thing.
Especially when you're in a convention space, make sure you have someone, if you're not confident with your surroundings, a handler, just a friend that can help guide you. The worst thing is, because it already happened, is I slammed into a wall, this came off, sadness ensued, and a lot of glue later, it's fixed, sort of.
I trip all the time.
And then that's another thing. It doesn't look, I mean, it may look absolutely adorable to see a fursuiter fall.
It's not.
It sucks.
It does.
Because just like a turtle, you're trapped.
I'm not saying that. Why are we talking about turtles?
Because, I mean, I can't move. If I'm on the ground, I'm done. It's over.
I've fallen and I can't get up. Oh no. All senior citizens should have life alert. I remember that commercial. I used to laugh at that commercial when she fell. I was a bad kid. That's a different discussion for a different day. What?
You know what I used to do?
What? Yeah.
I used to be a 911 dispatcher.
Oh my God.
And that was one of the dumbest things ever. Because I saw the commercial and I was like, oh, that's not how it works. Then I got into 911 dispatch and it actually does kind of work that way. They just push the button and it alerts them, and then it tells us, oh, hey, go pick this old lady up. Okay, cool.
So she
is careful.
Don't die over there.
Did you fall?
Yes, I did.
Oh,
Wolf down, wolf down.
Oh, you're a wolf?
See, you're lucky there's cameras and kids here, or else I would say what I want to say.
I really thought it was a fox.
Stop. I'm not
Maybe he's a bee fox.
Bees!
All right. Continuing on with health and safety. We're not going to talk about this. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Where's my paw?
I don't know. I don't know. No. God. With health and safety, it's important to have a hammer with you. Some people, find it cumbersome. Oh, I have a hammer with me. It's important because you as a fursuiter, you are blind, you are impaired, you have this thick carpet on you that's weighing you down, that's going to cause a lot of issues. As I said, I tend to trip a lot because the vision in this suit it's not good. And for most suitors, you're not going to have good vision. So it's important to have a handler. I think the last time, and this always comes up when I did the public fursuiting 101 panel, someone asked, should your handler carry a weapon on them? So I've always defaulted to say your mileage may vary. If you know you're going to sketchy areas or you're
Philadelphia.
Okay. Just throwing that out there. Okay.
It's kind of sus there. I mean,
all right. Well,
it's a little. I love Philadelphia. Don't get me wrong. But Philly.
Why are we? Doing this to Philadelphia.
Just, because I'm a Pittsburgh native.
Oh,
There's no
there
better
it
place
is.
than Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh's mid.
Just saying.
Actually, Pennsylvania is a mid state. It might be the middest state in the mid-Atlantic, and I will die on that hill. It is pretty square. It's like a keystone. It's square. Yeah. Also, their flag is ugly, but that's just my personal opinion. Yeah.
Fighting words.
Oh, yeah, if you want to fight, we can fight right now, bro. I've lost all my fights, but I'm not scared of anybody. Really not. I'm really not. You do that, you lose your... Stop. They're recording this, and you're just acting up.
Yes, I am.
Perfect.
Oh, my God. What do you want?
What about if, like, there's such things as, I think, you're a fursuiter and you have a heart attack or something along those lines?
What? Whoa.
EMS have shears that will open your
Hold up.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, but why would you go to, like, the extreme? Who's doing that?
First of all, it's a good statement.
The heart attack point?
The what?
The heart attack?
Just if you're incapacitated in general.
So it's going to be, what, 87 degrees tomorrow? And what percentage humidity? Like 90%? Okay, that feels
Good luck.
like 90 some odd degrees. That's okay. People have problems with health sometimes, so that's just how it works.
I'm not saying they don't, but I'm saying, why pick a heart attack?
The moment you
Just
start
caught me
feeling
off
pain,
guard.
take this off. You don't need to be, oh my God, I'm in suit, I can't take it. No, if you're dying, you're dying. Save yourself.
I guarantee
Health
you,
is most important.
you're not going to impress Jesus Christ or wherever you're going. We're having a fursuit head on when you die. Satan don't care about that. Jesus Christ don't care about that. I'm telling you right now. All right? Just take it off.
Yeah, imagine being on the newsreel. Guy in funny animal costume passes out.
I'm going to laugh at you. I'm going to come to your funeral and laugh at
If you're feeling bad and you feel like you need to, take the head off. Your health is a lot more important than a costume.
you. It is.
Plus, we just want to see your beautiful face anyway. Hey.
I don't know about that, but
I do.
you might want to see their face. I don't know about that. That's weird.
Everybody's cute. I love everyone. So,
That's a bold-faced lie. You don't mean that.
We're all coming over later.
he's just cranky all the time. He didn't have his Wheaties today.
What? Boy, oh man, I'm gonna set the word.
The importance of taking the daggone fursuit off whenever you're dying. Do that, or have someone do it. Better do it while you still can, versus you wake up in the back of an ambulance and Mick Masters has decided to rip you out with trauma shears, and you're like, oh hey, I'm sorry, I destroyed your costume. Hey, thanks, man. I'm glad I'm still alive to know that.
He's doing a good job. I'm happy for him.
But yes, just when you start saying, okay, this is enough's enough, take it off. It really doesn't matter where. People are going to understand. The people of Pittsburgh understand. It's hot.
Yes.
Okay.
Who breaks the magic? Yeah.
This is a question about suit style. So I see a lot of people walking around in suit, power on you, great. Are their feet and tails, because they're constantly, sometimes tails are touching the ground, the feet are always touching the ground, are those equipped somehow to like deal with whatever the ground has in store for them? Are they clean in a special way? Do you have something?
These are just shoes with foam taped around
These are
them.
just shoes. I feel weird doing this. Just showing people my feet. Who does that? Who does that? That's weird.
Oh my God. Whoa.
Why is it?
There's a lot of different designs.
Oh yeah, step on me. I made it awkward now.
Some people also have a different set for wearing indoors that they don't use outdoors,
Yeah.
and a set they use outdoors they don't use indoors. That way the indoor ponds can be kept cleaner, whereas the outdoor ponds can be abused a lot more.
And I can tell you right now, indoor paws look like, they're made to look like, you know, actual paws. They don't have any traction. These don't have that much traction, but they have more traction than literal indoor paws. So I know people who have walked around cons and indoor paws, and they get dirty real quickly because the floor is dirty. And like, don't want that. And it's raining outside, and you gotta walk in the rain. Well, there go your indoor paws because they're in mud now.
So you have outdoor paws, like what you've got, that already have like the foam material built into the paw itself, so you can walk around no problem. Just remember, they act more like skis whenever it's wet. Furthermore, it was a very interesting time for me, because then that one day that it rained, I learned what it meant to be a figure skater in fursuit.
What are you pointing at?
I did a split. Oh no. One leg went further than the other, and I went down with it. So watch your step anywhere you go, especially if you're wearing sandals or outdoor paws. They don't have traction at all. They're just there to make sure that you don't have to, to damage your paws. That's it. So
Even though mine's built around a shoe, it still slips a lot.
yeah.
All right, so we have 7 minutes left. We are going to speed run public fursuiting, and we're going to combine that with performance. Lovely. All right, so public fursuiting. If you're gonna, who's publicly suited before? Lovely, lovely. All right, so there are certain places you can and can't fursuit. Do not fursuit in a cemetery. I've seen people do that. Don't say what, it's been done before, for TikTok, obviously. Don't fursuit at the police station. Don't fursuit on private property. Yes, shopping malls, they do not find that funny.
Paul Blart will come and get you.
The rent-a-cop will kick you out.
Yep.
It's his job. He's working hard for his money. I can't fault him. All right, don't do that. State of Virginia. Yeah.
Well, hold on, wait a second. They appealed the law for masks.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, so you can publicly fursuit in Virginia without the Footpaw being like, stop that.
About time.
Yeah, know your state's laws. Some states have no mask laws on the books. Some, in the case of DC, have a mask law, but it's only in specific cases for like if you're causing trouble or just trying to incite stuff. Some states have mask laws on the local level. So it's important to know what your state's mask laws are in regards to wearing a fursuit. If you're going to fursuit in a public place like a park or whatever, you're fine. No one can kick you out. It's public property.
Make sure it's not a private park like a lot of parks in New York City are.
Yes, we went to Bryant Park in New York City and got kicked out because it's a private park. And that was awkward as hell. But make sure you do your due diligence. Do not publicly fursuit in like the worst possible places that are going to cause issue. Don't do it in a mall, hospital, unless you're invited to a hospital, things like that. What? It's a fursuit for the kids.
You can totally do that. You just gotta ask for permission.
Yeah, always ask for permission and don't assume. And like I said, it doesn't hurt to ask. There are cases where people have fursuited at round one. If you know what round one is, the people asked and were given permission to do that because the manager there was cool. So can't always assume that they're going to say no. Sometimes if you explain it and it's like, hey, we like to wear a mascot, is it cool if we come in, do our thing, play some games, whatever, they'll be cool with it. It doesn't hurt to ask. If you're going to publicly fursuit, map out your route. Don't do it blindly because something can happen. Know escape routes. Know how hot it is, how cold it is. Take with you water. Take with you some kind of supplies to do fursuit repairs just in case. That's a thing that can happen. Hi, I see you waving back there. Stop waving. Ooh. You can literally text them on Telegram. I know you talk to each other.
The internet exists.
Yes. Good gosh, Blue. With performance, I tell people you spend a lot of money on a fursuit. There's no sense for you to stand around like this in a fursuit. Stop dropping the chairs. Come on.
Can I have my paw?
I don't know where your paw is. Stop asking. God.
3 minutes, boys.
Jesus Christ. You'll find it eventually. You'll find it. Right? Don't stand around like that. That's weird. Not saying he's weird, but just standing around.
I am weird.
Your word's not mine. So, just standing around doing nothing in a fursuit is kind of creepy. Have some emotion. Okay, yes. If you want to T-pose, that's so 2019. Go and T-pose. All right? Have some kind of energy. If I'm particularly in the mood, I will drink alcohol before I go fursuiting. I don't recommend it, but that's just me. That's just me. It is terrible, but I know my limits. Of course, I get drunk really fast, but that's a different discussion. You want to think about how your character would be like if they came to life. What? Oh, 2 minutes, hell yeah. All right. I can't talk fast. Sorry. But think about how your character would be if they came to life. I guarantee you, and I know how furries are, your character is not going to be standing around doing absolutely nothing. Most of you are going to be zany, off the wall, just having a good time. I know mine would be. Mine would bully the hell out of me, honestly, if I'm being honest. But, you want to have some kind of energy with you. Don't just stand around.
Right.
And use something to get you going. For me, it's alcohol. I do not recommend it. That's just me, but I know my limits. Some people may listen to music to get them pumped up. Others may...
Why?
What?
Why drink? Just go out and have fun. Don't drink. That's bad.
Well, this is me we're talking about.
That dehydrates you.
Okay, but this is me we're talking about.
Stop it.
Go to the rave. Let the music flow through you.
Come on.
Go to the rave. Yeah. It's going to be a fun rave this year at Anthrocon, by the way.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Okay.
Yes, I'll be there. Yeah. You'll see me dancing around or whatever the hell I call it. Moving around is.
Grandma flossing.
Grandma flossing. Stop. We don't talk about grandma flossing. Stop. That's awful. That's somebody grandmama doing that to. That's awful. I'm here.
Oh my God.
So, any other question? We got 1 minute left. Yes?
It's a little hard, but someone like me who's in a wheelchair, do you have any recommendations for that? How to animate and kind of come to life a little more when you're physically restrained?
What was the question? I could not hear.
So for someone like me who's in a wheelchair, do you have any recommendations for how to better animate a little bit when you're physically compromised? Like, have you had any experience with people who are in wheelchairs and stuff?
What? So, obviously, for physical impairments, you can't move. That's true. But it doesn't mean really just you have to move around to be excited. If you just feel comfortable wearing your suit, you are having fun. That's all that matters. People get to look at the suit and appreciate it, but you get to experience it and love it. I've seen. I'm going to say this because I don't move around a lot on the suit. It's hot. It's uncomfortable, and every time that I move, my temperature increases by like 5 degrees. It sucks. So I don't move a whole lot, but I still have a lot of fun because if you hang out with the friends that you have come to know and love, I mean, that's really all that matters. Fursuiting is just a bonus. So honestly, you do what you really want to do in fursuit, and that's all that should matter. As long as you're having fun, that's it. And that's why I do it, because I don't really care. I don't care.
I would print a car. Nothing. It's not over there. All right, any other questions? Because they're kicking me out now. None? Okay.
Okay. Thanks for coming by, everybody.
Thank you. Yes, welcome to Pittsburgh. Welcome to AC. Have a good con. Yes. Unfortunately. What's up? Oh, I know who it is. I know who it is. Hi, Mr. Laser Pointer. Hello.
I have,
You need a bolt.
so would you,
I don't remember that.